Okay. Okay guys, I just wanted to do a quick tutorial on how to drag knee on the racetrack. It'd be more aptly named how to drill to drag knee on the racetrack. I just got back from working a corner at our local racetrack, so I spent all day holding the flags, helping downed riders, you know, radioing in people who were endangering other riders and things of that nature. But in that time I got to see a huge variety of riding styles and techniques and kind of different ways to attack corners, both really good and really bad and ineffective. So I thought I should just do a quick video. If you're thinking of doing a track day, or you've already done a track day but you didn't quite get as fast through the corners as you wanted to, I thought I'd do a quick tutorial on what I was taught to do by my coach, I'll call him, on how to corner properly with body position, trail braking, and then accelerating out of the apex. That's the main key factors here. And the first thing you got to change your brain around is if you think you should not hit the brakes or the acceleration until you're out of the corner, you are 100% dead wrong. That area of non-braking, non-accelerating is kind of dead sailing, and that is actually the moment your bike is least what's it called, stable. Obviously if you over throttle, spin the wheel out, or over brake and lock up the front, that's more unstable. But at that time, when you're not hitting the brake or the throttle, you're not controlling whether the weight of your bike is on the front tire or the back tire, and you're not using any of the benefits of the gyroscopic effect of your engine or your wheels pulling out of the corner. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was throttle blipping, and that was the one thing personally that I was not prepared for on my first track day. On the street, I never blipped my throttle. I just don't mind at all if my back end squawks a little bit and breaks loose a little bit. But on the track, which differs in the street, is you're braking so hard that your weight is right on the front of the bike, so your back wheel is so loose, you downshift and you gotta hit the gas and get in the corner as soon as you can. And while your bike is breaking loose and the back tire is skidding around, that's all precious, you know, milliseconds that you need to be inputting into your bike to get it around the corner as fast as possible. So step one into entering a corner is be on the brakes. Obviously from here looks like a good braking zone. I'm going to carry it forward, and let's say I'm in second gear, and all I want to do is right about this moment you pull in the clutch, obviously, drop your gear, hit the throttle and let out the clutch. And the goal is to match the revs of your bike to the revs of your tire once it enters the newer gear. If you have a slipper clutch, throttle blipping is not necessary, because what happens with the slipper clutch is it detects back pressure from the tire and slips. So that moment when my tire all of a sudden has to speed up to catch up to the new gear, it would detect that sudden speed up of my tire and slip the clutch a bit, and then it wouldn't cause any loss of traction. But my understanding is you're still hard on your slipper clutch. If you hit it too hard, it's still a mechanical device that'll wear out. So you're probably better off, even if you have a slipper clutch, getting comfortable throttle blipping. And hopefully I'll just put a clip of a throttle blip, proper one, in here. So even though I said you should be inputting into your bike throughout the whole corner, you shouldn't be changing gears in the corner. And speaking of gears, when I first started biking, I was taught, and it's effective when you first start, is to be in a high gear so that your throttle input is puts less effect on the bike. And if you gun it too much, you're not going to spin out and die. But for track racing, you always have to learn to be in your power band, which for my bike is right in here. So you want to get used to revving really high, and you want to get used to cornering right in the middle of your power band. And that's ideal because you'll have the most power coming out of the corner, of course, but also that's the smoothest in terms of when you let off and when you let on, you're still in the power band. So the input into the bike has the least differentiating effect. So if I'm down here right before my power band, hope you can see it, and I give it a little bit of gas, suddenly I hit my power band, and that little bit of throttle, let's say 5 degrees of throttle, has a greater effect than 5 degrees off the throttle, which maintains me outside of the power band. So what you want to do ideally is find the gear setting where you are in the middle of your power band. And this is an aftermarket speedometer, so I redline right here, actually, not here. But it's kind of, that is literally my power band, so it's helpful. So when I corner, I want to be at 12. And obviously on the track you're not going to be looking at your tach too often or your speedometer at all, but it's good to get used to driving your bike in the higher rev ranges because it's required on the track. So anyways, entering my corner, come into here, I'm on the brakes, I need to gear down once, I clutch in, gear, throttle on, throttle off, let out the clutch, and that's the key. So come in, I'm on the brake, clutch, gear, throttle on, throttle off, let go of the clutch. If you still have throttle when you let go of the clutch, then you're going to wheelie, especially on a more powerful bike. It just brings the front end up, which is obviously a tragedy entering a hard corner. Okay, so at this point, we'll see. So at this point I'm in gear, I'm still on the brakes, and I've now pushed to the point where I want to start entering my corner. So my hands on the brakes, the weight of the bike is transferring to the front really hard, and at this point is when you want to slide your left hip off the seat and get ready to lean into the corner. So you don't have to pull at this distance, you don't have to pull full lean, but you have to get your body prepared to push itself off the bike. And I'm just gonna pull over here. Sorry, don't want to be frustrating those people. So back there 20 feet, I have my one butt cheek off the bike. You start pointing your toe in, and one of the things I had to learn on the track the hard way is to really get used to tucking my foot in. And if you watch my track day video, I shift into neutral a lot because I was getting uncomfortable with this. But if I rode like normal, like this, then I'm dragging my toe really hard, and that's unsettling because it kind of wants to catch and pull you off, even though my boots have toe sliders. But before you enter the corner, try and get your foot set, your butt set, and your eyes set. And so my coach taught me, which is very smart, is you want to be looking at the exit of the third corner that you're about to take. You know, that's not directly true, but the concept is look further ahead than you think you need to at all times. So if I come in here, I'm trail braking, I've got my front brake on, leaning forward, I'm starting to tip the bike, and that's the beauty of trail braking, is as you hit the brake, your bike is leaning forward, therefore more weight is on the handlebars, therefore the handlebars have more of effect on the weight of the bike. In the same way, if you wheelie, your handlebars have less of an effect on where your bike goes. But as you enter in the corner, you've got your brakes on, all the ways pushing forward, all the handlebars carry more of the load, and just a little counter steer and your bike is going to drop for you. So right here we've got a cheek off, set our foot, got the brake on, counter steer to drop the bike, and we start to lean in and drag it, and that's going to pull ahead and go over the body position. Oh yeah, and then so the next thing you're setting up right now is your eyes. So you want to look for your apex. My apex on the corner is actually at that last concrete pillar for this corner. So that's where I'm looking. I've got my butt off and I enter the corner, and now is when we start to really corner hard. So the thing about trail braking that's confusing is it's you have to frickin' be ballsy to do it properly. Just gonna take off my helmet to get a shot here. So when I say drill, that means you don't have to do it perfect the first time. It just means start working your way to it. And even on the racetrack, there was tons of corners I didn't properly trail brake, but at least if you're coming in too slow, at least push your front brake just enough to where your pads are touching the rotor, and so you can at least get the feedback of your bike. You don't want to push the brakes too hard, too fast, and not know when they're going to be touching. But the whole time, if you didn't carry enough entry speed and you don't truly have to be trail braking, I recommend just pushing this just a little bit to feel your pads. So if you do need to use your brakes, you have instantaneous response on that trigger. So now we'll go over body positioning mid corner. So give me a sec. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. Obviously this isn't a perfect live demonstration, but it's good old-fashioned best we can do is what we got demonstration. So like I said before, toe is tucked in tight. You've already shifted gears, so you don't have to cover the gear shifter. You want to be on the ball of your foot, like I said, with your foot in tight. Dragging your peg is a significantly better feeling, unless you drag it hard into the curbing on the racetrack, which happened to me, which is a little unsettling. But dragging your toe is more risky. Like if my toe is here, it can slide my foot off the peg, which would obviously be bad. So I've got my toe in tight, knee pointed, right outside to the center of the corner. This leg, I've got my, I'll show that, oh yeah, I'll just show it this way. So, in a mirror image, my right leg now, my toe is pushing up. You see how I've got these grips right here? And my knee is really pushing into those. And I'm on the ball of my foot. And really that is the main thing holding me onto my bike. So you can see how far you can lean out just using the grip between your toe and your knee on the outside corner. Now, and I watched my video, which was very helpful. One of the things I didn't do well enough was really extend this arm. The toe's in tight, knee is out, and you want to extend your right arm, your outside arm, as hard as you can, and then this elbow gets tucked in. And a key, one of the keys is to have all of your weight with your legs and your torso and none of the weight on your handlebars. What you want is your handlebars to have no weight on them so they can track all the bumps on the corners and carry through and never lose traction. Now, one of the I'm looking. just in case you couldn't hear me. So one of the key kind of, once again, old wives' tale about cornering is that you can force a certain lean angle, or you can hang off your bike. The center of gravity angle always has to remain exactly proportionate to the centrifugal force of your corner. There's no way to cheat that angle. There's no way to drag knee going slower around the corner, just like force it to happen. You can use bad body positioning and get your knee down when your center of mass is at the exact same angle as it would be regardless of where your body is. That was probably really hard to understand. What I mean is, your bike and the rider's center of mass is always proportionate to the centrifugal angle of the corner. So one of the keys to riding faster and having a more stable corner is to get yourself as far off of the bike as possible. Now, why is that? Because my suspension is exactly perpendicular to a 90-degree riding height. So right now, my suspension has the most ability to track and move and flex. The second I tip my bike over, it is now less effective because the angle of direction of my suspension travel is no longer perpendicular to the forces underneath it and acting upon it. And even more so, as the bike leans even further, this suspension obviously becomes less and less and less effective. So what you want to do to corner most stably is to lean as far as you can off the bike and keep your bike as upright as possible so that the suspension can track at perpendicular to the road. Now, if you watch MotoGP, then you'll see obviously they can corner at extreme lean angles, but firstly, their racetrack topping is far better than anything you see on the street, and even far better than a typical racetrack. You know, they're in the premier class of racing, so all their race surfaces are ideal. And secondly, they actually designed the frame of a MotoGP bike to flex torsionally. So it's really strong this way, so the suspension can do its job. But when the bike is over on its side, I hope you can see this, the frame actually becomes the suspension, and it actually provides the flex for the tires to track through the bumps. So stable corners, the most stable corner, your bike is most upright. But the faster you go, the more you have to lean to have your center of gravity exactly match the outward centrifugal force. There's no cheating, it's physics. So what you want to do is keep your bike as upright as possible, get your body off as far as possible. And that will give you the most stability with the most tracking. And that's why you never want weight on your front handlebars, because that tire is tracking, you know, instantaneously responding to the road it's hitting it, and you don't want to interfere that at all. If you grip this hard and fight it, then all you're doing is giving the tire a tougher time gripping this bumpy road as you go around. Okay, so that's trail braking up to the apex. Now let's go to the apex. So here is where I apex this corner. And The apex by definition isn't the most outer point of the corner. If this is a corner, ooh, even better. If this is a corner, I know my gas tank's dirty. The apex isn't the furthermost point. The apex is when you choose to hit that the hardest. And essentially in racing terms, and in proper cornering terms, it's the point when you let off your trail brake and transfer to throttle. Okay? So for me, I guess it's somewhere in here. At this point, I've entered through most of the corners, slowing down the whole way, trailing my brakes in, and if I didn't carry enough corner speed, I'm still just touching the brake a little until I get to the point. Actually, my apex will be ahead of me here, but anyways. And then, at that point, when you're off the throttle, off the brake, and not on the throttle, that's when you're dead sailing, and that's actually when your bike is at the most unstable, because all of the inputs on it right now are the road and the momentum. There's no rider input. I guess the handlebars still, right? You're still cornering on the apex. So what you want to do is you immediately roll on the throttle, and what that does is it gets the weight pushed back on the bike, evens it out from not just on the front. A lot of times when we corner too, you're leaning up into the tank. Your shoulders are kind of further ahead than they would normally be, just street riding. So more weight's on the front than has to be. So you roll on the throttle, pushes the weight to the back of the bike, and helps stabilize it. And what it does, because of centrifugal force, is the gyroscopes on your wheels are gyroscopes, stabilize your bike, and they actually want to tip it up. They'll start wanting to tip your bike up for you. So you trail in, dead sail, but you immediately want to get on the gas as fast as you can, and that's for racing, because you want to get the most corner exit speed you can, but it's also for stability. And we've all heard the term, when in doubt, throttle out. If you've got a tank slapper, if you hit this corner and you locked up your front for a second and you start to lose traction, you just give it some gas, a little junt of gas, and you're surprised. It's surprising how much that stabilizes your bike. So the next part's easy. So now's where I would be giving full gas here. This is full throttle, and I'm getting ready to hit my next corner already. And same thing, my eyes are actually looking to that corner there by the mountains. But I will at this point be out of the corner, and the whole point is to get as much gas as you can, as fast as you can. Obviously you can always over throttle and spin your back end out. So learn, practice, find that threshold of maximum throttle without crashing. Important. So I'm gonna go through once again real slow, and we'll talk about it. So here I would be up, trail brake in, body over, gas to the corner. So I'm just going to turn in, and as I said in my ATGAT video, find a place to practice that's safe. Here I can see all the cars coming in and out. There's no guardrail. I can exit. If I were to crash, I have a pretty decent runaway lane. And most importantly, it's a left-hander, so I can demonstrate with my kickstand. Okay, so obviously you want to take the line that's furthest out, you trail brake in, throttle blip, and then let out the clutch. Right about here, as soon as you throttle blip, you move your body to the side, And here you're leaning, I'm not going very fast, leaning around the corner all the way to the apex, just a little bit of brake on, maintenance throttle, and then you gun it, and then same thing, brake, body over, gun it at the apex. I forgot to mention maintenance throttle. So on longer corners, or when you didn't come in with enough entry speed to properly trail brake, what I don't want you to do is just have that brake pushed just that little bit, and not be on the gas. What we call is, what you have to do is maintenance throttle. And what that means is you're keeping a constant roll on, a constant rev to, like I said, keep that bike stable, keep your balance neutral, and just have that ability to affect your bike instantly. You never want to be, most throttles have a little bit of a wiggle. You never want to be in that zone, neither with your brake or your throttle. You want to have your throttle just maintained, so when you come out of the corner, it's instantaneous reaction. And you want to have your brake, if you're coming in too hot, you want to know it's right there. It's right there. So if I got any batteries left, I'm going to put on my gloves and do some runs, and maybe talk you through some throttle blipping and stuff. But I don't have my race suit on, so it's not going to be anything. I'm not going to look like number 99 or number 46. That's for sure. But the best part of biking is you don't have to be the best. You just have to be having the most fun. So, and to do that, we want to be safe. We want to practice, and we don't want to push the limit on the street. We want to wait till we get to the track. So give it some gas, hit the brake, trail my brake into the corner, push my body out. Now I hit my apex. Ooh, later apex than I thought. Other corner, apex out. Now this corner is gravelly, so we're out of racetrack mode. And we'll do a couple more runs because it's so much fun. Oh, here comes a damn bus. So maybe we'll just do one more run. So here I'm actually going to go into second to show the throttle blip. Oh, I wish I had my knee sliders on. And as soon as you get on the gas, your bike just stabilizes itself. It's such a beautiful thing. These bikes nowadays are just freaking awesome. That's all I can say. I think I might just do one more, and then maybe we'll do some right-handers. This one's a little hard to throttle blip because there's those people there, and I don't want to piss them off. So coming in. Okay, we'll do a slow run. Okay, so once again, right about here, throttle in, blip the throttle, shift gears, clutch out, push your butt out, hit the front brake, tip the bike, give her the maintenance throttle, maintenance throttle, maintenance throttle, maintenance throttle, apex, full gas, brake, move body, apex, full gas. And see how I'll move my apex a lot. This corner is probably actually a double apex, but if I'm honest, I'm not quite at that level. where I'm comfortable double apexing. It's so bloody scary giving it gas between two corners like that. Okay, so I'm gonna short shift a second just to show the throttle blip. There we go, got the blip, move the body, turn the bike. Maintenance throttle, maintenance throttle, maintenance throttle, gas, brake, move, throttle. So on that corner, actually, I wasn't going very fast. So actually the bike was a little wobbly, but I just kept the throttle steady and no problems. Okay, let's do some right-handers because there's so much buses lined up. Do a little wheelie. That's how we like our wheelies. Nice and little. Oh, I love biking so much. I just wish I had my knee sliders on. Note to self, next time you're doing a how to drag knee video, be sure to include dragging your knee. Oh, just jokes. I don't, actually, none of my friends who are really fast, really drag their knee. And so just there, you can see, I was going through the mud. So that's my chicken strip, just from that little corner there. It's so easy to, get faster on your corners when you're comfortable hitting that brake entry speed and when you're comfortable throttling out. Like obviously that's a slow corner, a nice slow sharp corner, but once you've drilled the rider controls and body positioning, you can hit lean angles without being scared at all. Like my first time dragging my knee, I never even felt like my cornering speed was fast. Quite honestly, I was just going through the motions, and then it's like, oh, my knee's down. And nothing new or nothing different. I never felt like I was at risk or I was putting myself or others at risk. Motorbiking isn't skateboarding. You can't fall 20 times in one spot and just keep getting back up. You want to move ahead, well, slower, comfortably, and never feel like you're in danger or your friends are in danger. You will crash. I will crash at some point. One of the things you'll notice on a track day is see, throttle blipping is easy. Why didn't I learn how to do that before the track? One of the things you'll learn on a track day is you'll view your bikes different. They are not shiny and ornamental. They are dirty, ugly, and vicious beasts. And they are meant to be tamed. They are not meant to be shined. I just met a gentleman at the last track day who had a beautiful Ducati Panigale with the black carbon fairings and just beautiful bike. As beautiful as any bike has ever been in the history of man. And he had it all scratched up because he fell last track day. And he was a little embarrassed about it. I said, man, that is so much more beautiful than the 260 garage showpieces that we have in the city that have never been redlined and never been almost, you know, peg dragged and all that stuff. That's what you got to do. That's what these bikes are for. So learn to be safe. Don't take stupid risks. Practice, 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 practice. And find a really good group of riders to teach you. I'm just totally novice, well, intermediate I guess, but still nowhere near a racer level or competitive level. But I can get my knees down. Which, like, it's a funny thing in the biking world because we're so hung up on the knee down. And that doesn't mean you're faster. I have a friend who, his riding position is super high up. His knees are super high up and he doesn't hang his knees out far. He keeps everything in real tight and he blows by me with lap times. Just destroys me. Even though I'm dragging my knee on every corner and he's keeping it tight, you know. Racing is purist. It's not about how you look or if you knee down. It's about going fast. But then that's what this video is about. It's about drilling to learn how to have stable corners. Oh my god, I hate traffic. I need to go to the racetrack. Drilling to have stable corners where your bike is as upright as possible, as I'm demonstrating at this slow pace, and your body is hanging off, and you're using your maintenance throttle and your trail brake, and you're not afraid to put inputs into your bike on the corners. Should have took that corner. Son of a bitch! Oh, I hope I can do this one. All I want to show is a good throttle blip because we've all seen riders drag their knee, but modern MotoGP bikes have auto blippers and quick shifters, so we don't get to witness the mastery of the throttle blip. And if you're looking for mastery of anything, you've come to the wrong channel. But you can learn with me, I guess. That's the one beauty. So I'm gonna just go slow. Oh, way too fast, you idiot. Throttle blip. Throttle blip. Now I caught up to these idiots. So pretend I'm going faster. Trail brake. Maintenance throttle. Body leaned over. Looking far ahead as I can. As far ahead as I can. As far ahead as I can. Waiting for the apex. Apex. Full throttle. Full throttle. Trail brake. Body over. Maintenance throttle, maintenance throttle, maintenance throttle. Toe tucked in tight. Looking as far ahead as I can. Oh, sometimes you gotta be a bit of a hooligan. So, we're back. I got the race suit on now, and I'm just going to try and demonstrate on this corner some of the things that I was talking about in the last video with when I just had my blue jeans on. So this isn't a racetrack, so I'm not going to be hitting the perfect race lines. Actually, I'm going to go slow and explain. But I have been over this concrete or pavement a lot. I know the conditions, and my tires are decently warm. So I'm fairly confident that we can get our knee down here. Now I'm gonna go down one more time because I totally missed what I was gonna say. So this is street, not track. So, oops, I gotta take off my camera mount. Son of a bitch. So, and because this is such a small circuit, which is important to me because I got to keep my tires warm. It's easy on track to keep your tires just liquefied, but on street the edges tend to get cool. The best way to warm up your tires is with heavy acceleration and hard braking. People always want to do that wiggle thing. It's not as effective because the heat then just touches the outside of the tire, not the inside of the tire. And if you do heavy braking, you're torquing the tire and you're heating it up internally. So on street, we don't often get that ability to hard accelerate and hard brake and always keep constantly warm tires. So you'll see I come to the outside here, but now when you look, there's a big concrete barrier I don't want to hit. So I don't apex here, I'll apex later, so that if my bike was to slide out, I would just hopefully hit that boulevard and not the concrete median or whatever. So once again, we're in a safe spot. I can see all the traffic. This is a one-way, so no one's going to be coming at me on the corner. And so I'm going to go through medium speed just to go through. I won't be throttle blipping or gear changing, but as I come out here, body goes back, trail brake, see the trail brake, I lean in, and now on the gas coming out. Okay, well, I think I've done enough talking. Let's see if I can do it full speed here. So start the brakes, lean in. Now I transfer to maintenance throttle, and there, see, knee down, just like that. I'm not in any way having any adrenaline rush, or I'm not pushing my limits. Certainly never push your limits on street. So here we go again. Start braking, trail it in, hit my throttle now, apex. And once again, the knee was down on that one. So I hear a siren. I'm just going to pull into this dealership and let them go by. I don't think cops would necessarily like watching me do that. And I'm sure if I told them I'm doing a safety video, they wouldn't care. Well, and one of the other misconceptions that people have is, just looking at these balloons, is that you get less of a traction pad while you're cornering, and that's not really true. Your tires are set to a certain PSI, and however many pounds on them is the amount of surface area they're going to touch with the ground. So as the bike leans, the same weight on the tires equals the same patch. You can actually weigh a vehicle. If you measured all 4 tires PSI and then you measured with sheets of paper how much contact patch there is on the ground, you can actually weigh a vehicle that way. Maybe in the winter I'll do a demonstration of that. But so as you lean, your contact patch remains the same, but the problem is the force is obviously what makes you slide out. And then and your suspension is no longer perpendicular to the force. Okay, let's try this 2 more times and then maybe get some more camera angles. So I wanted to say that in my spiel with the blue jeans, but I forgot. I missed it. So you as you can. Late brake, put your hips back, point your toe, point your knee, maintenance throttle, and check for traffic. Okay, that one's just getting the tires warm. Let's try it one more time. See if we can get our knee down. Now this isn't a proper superbike corner, so my knee just barely hits. There we go, knee down. It's tighter than what you'd see on a typical superbike track, but you know, I'm always a fan of learning at lower speeds than faster ones. Okay, one last time. Brake late, hips out, point the toe, hit the throttle, lean, and gun it! Alright guys, thanks for watching. Be safe out there, practice, practice, practice. Hopefully you can find somebody who knows more than me. But if you're gonna learn with me, then let's learn together. Alright guys, cheers.